I point blank refuse to accept this as the new normal. So just as we are all still trying to somehow get our heads around the vicious, evil stabbing of those girls in Southport and their teachers, where 3 tragically lost their lives and others were viciously stabbed and were lucky not to lose their lives. We yesterday witnessed another horrific stabbing in London, where another young girl, in the middle of the day, in the middle of the city, and an adult were viciously stabbed on the street. And pretty much at the same time, here in Dublin, a man took out what looked to be a knife the size of a cricket bat and viciously stabbed another man, both believed to be foreign men, and hacked and stabbed him, again, right in the middle of the street, right in the middle of the day, in the middle of Dublin. I mean, what the hell has gone wrong? This is almost a daily occurrence now, both in the UK and here in Ireland. Not just Dublin, not just London. I'm seeing this stuff pop up all the time. It was never like this. This is not who we are. This is not our culture. I mean, who goes around with a machete stuffed down their trousers? What culture normalises this? What kind of people do that in a civilised society? That was never, ever a thing here, and it was never, ever a thing in Britain. It just didn't happen. But now, it's almost normal. It's almost becoming normalised. It's banal. Another stabbing. It seems it's only when it's something as utterly horrendous on the scale as little kids getting involved, where we had in Dublin last November with the Algerian monster. And that's the only word to describe these people. Monsters. They're not human beings. These are monsters. They're demons. They're evil. But why is it when it's only something as absolutely horrendous and barely believable as little kids, does anybody even pay attention? Is this the new norm? Is this the new normal? Well, it shouldn't be. And I don't accept it. And I won't accept it. It's not normal. And anybody who thinks it is shouldn't be here. And anybody who walks around packing a samurai sword, a knife, a machete, they shouldn't be here too. I don't want these people around me. I don't want these people in society. Here's footage from yesterday in Dublin, Marlborough Street, which is just around the corner from O'Connell Street, where a man viciously attacked and stabbed multiple times another man.
Your man should be dead. He's after knifing him about 20 times. I don't know how that fella survived. He had some kind of thing in his jacket to stop him knifing him dead. That's a fact. All right. You little horrible bastard.
Stand back.
He's a little coward. Relax. Relax.
You're being recorded. Stand back.
Hang on, we know.
Stand back. Go back to your side. He should be all fucking gone.
Seriously, that fella should be dead. That fella should be dead. He's after knifing him about 20 times. He had something like this. This cunt chased the fella up the road, right? Doing this whack. With an inch that knife that long. Well, your man went running off. I don't know how he is. He has to be cut by something.
In the middle of the day, in the very centre of Dublin City, you can hear the anger from the people, just the ordinary people who happen to be around at the time. One lady in particular pushing a pram with a very small child, obviously, completely apoplectic.
He should be all fucking gone.
Because these were two foreign men who were just, one, for whatever reason, just pulled out a large knife and attacked another man just right there, just at the drop of a hat. Turns out that this man, Vyron Hajkaj, who, I'm not quite sure about this, but my sources tell me it's a name of Albanian extraction. And he was arrested, as you can see, on the spot. He was then charged, and wouldn't you know it, this being modern day Ireland, he was released on bail. €400 bail. That's right, a man who has no problem not only carrying a knife, but brandishing it and attacking people on the spur of the moment is back out to roam the streets of Dublin once again. And why would this be? Well, it's because our prisons are completely overflowing and have been for years. Because here's the thing. For most of my life, Ireland's population was hovering around 3.8 to 4 million in the Republic. We have the infrastructure for that. We have the hospitals for that. We have schools for that. We have prisons for that. Not nearly 5.5 million people, which we have today. We don't have the doctors, the hospitals, the schools. We don't have the prisons for these people. So they have to keep letting them out. And we, the public, are supposed to just suck it up, Buttercup, and just put up with the likes of Byron Highcadge roaming around amongst women and children. Moving swiftly along from Ireland's capital to the capital of the UK, London, where a Romanian man, Ioan Pintaru, just went berserk with a steak knife, and in Leicester Square, in the middle of the day, in the same afternoon, attacked a mother and her young 11-year-old daughter, stabbing the 11-year-old girl with a steak knife 8 times.
Attended a very short hearing here involving the man accused of attempted murder after the attack in Leicester Square yesterday. He stood in the dock, Ioan Pintaru. The court heard that a mother and her daughter, who's 11, tourists were approached in Leicester Square yesterday lunchtime. The court was told that the 11-year-old girl was held in a headlock. She was stabbed 8 times with a steak knife, including in her face and on her shoulder. And we were also told that she remains in hospital and will now require plastic surgery. The man in the dock, Mr. Pintaru, was told that he must appear at a Crown Court in September.
And all this just off the back of those 3 poor little angels in Southport having been stabbed barely a couple of weeks ago. But according to the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, terrorism and acts of terrorism, well, it's just part and parcel of living in a big city. No, it isn't. Maybe in Pakistan it might be, but not here. It's not. Not in London, not in Dublin. It never was that way, and it shouldn't be that way, and I don't accept that it's normal, and I won't accept that it's normal. Our governments are elected and supposed to protect us, all of us, citizens, from the likes of Byron Highcadge, from the likes of Ioan Pintaru. These people shouldn't be here. Who the hell knows what their background is, what their previous crimes, if they have any, are, what culture they come from, what they think is normal. Is carrying a machete down the right leg of your trousers normal where they were brought up? Is it normal in their culture, in their society? If it is, I don't want them here. I want that stopped. I want them stopped at the border. I don't want them around me. I don't want them around the people I love. Our government are failing us. Our government are leaving us defenseless against these people. And when the inevitable happens and children get stabbed in the middle of the day, in the middle of the capital city, I don't want to hear this don't look back in anger bullshit anymore. I want it solved. I want you to do your goddamn job, like what we pay you for. I don't want young mothers in fear walking down the main street of the capital city pushing a pram, wondering if somebody will hop out from a shop or behind a bush and wield a knife and go on a stabbing spree. That's not normal. I will never accept it's normal, and until this problem is fixed, I will call it out. And as far as what I'd like to see happen to these guys, well, I say let's go medieval on this shit. Our ancestors knew a thing or two about crime and punishment. Check out this beauty.
The oubliette was a very feared part of the castle, and one of the cells inside of Warwick Castle in England was so feared that during the 100 Years' War, French soldiers heard about the tiny cell. Many oubliettes were created in a bottle shape, which meant that it was impossible for someone to climb out and escape.
Maybe we should bring back the oubliette. If you think you're a wise ass or smart guy and you're walking around with a machete, a big knife, and you hop out of the bushes and stab women, children, anybody in fact, in the middle of the day, in the middle of the night, on a weekend, on a Sunday, on a bank holiday, don't care. Into the oubliette you go, into the hole you go. No pipe TV, no PlayStations, no Netflix. Oh, we'll feed you. We aren't completely heartless, but you'll stay there for an appropriate amount of time, and when you get out, you'll be fingerprinted and sent packing with the instruction clear as day: do not come back, ever. We never want to see you again. And if you do come back, and we do catch you, into the oubliette you go, this time for good. Something tells me, and I'd be willing to put a bet on this, the likes of what we saw in Southport a couple of weeks ago, the likes of what we saw in Dublin last November, the likes of what we saw in Leicester Square yesterday, would rapidly become a thing of the past. I say it's at least worth a try.